Hey guys, how's it going? This is your September 26th Raw Super Show review, and after all my ranting and raving about Night of Champions, after my ranting and raving about last week's Monday Night Raw Super Show, and after all the bullshit from Mysterio 619 Fan for Life 2, and I'm sure if he could have made that name longer, he probably could have. I am a much happier guy this week. Raw this week wasn't exactly perfect, but it was a hell of a lot better. We started off the show with the announcement that we're going to have Alberto Del Rio versus CM Punk in the main event tonight, gearing up for their triple threat match with John Cena this Sunday at Hell in the Cell. Awesome. Great main event to look forward to be sure. Triple H comes out, replays the video of behind the scenes at Night of Champions when Miz and Truth were basically threatening anybody and everybody that got in their way, and said, "This is why I fired you. I decided I was going to fire you before Raw went on last week, but I thought I would get one last main event out of you before I fired you," which is, from a business perspective, it's a good, thing for Triple H to do. They don't have to pay their fines anymore because they are fired. Mark Henry will pay a fine as big as theirs would have been for attacking JR and King last week, which is awesome. Now, Vicky and Dolph Ziggler come down and say, if you're going to right all the wrongs in the WWE, why don't you, do something about Hugh Jackman attacking me last week, giving me a hairline fracture in my jaw and so forth, and costing me the match against Zack Ryder. Triple H gets really, really condescending and says, well, I don't really know what you want me to do about somebody from Hollywood coming in and decking you, but I can give you more security if you think you need it to protect your glass jaw. I thought that was really nice. Cody Rhodes comes down and wants the issue with Orton dealt with, the big beatdown he got from Orton on SmackDown, where he was all bloodied up with the ring bell and such and so forth, and Triple H goes, you know what, there was a time where Randy Orton took out me, took out my wife, etc. I went to his house and I beat the shit out of him. Why are you such a wuss? More or less. Christian comes out, complains about Sheamus' interference in his lumberjack match with Mark Henry on SmackDown. Triple H basically looks at him and says, you're an idiot, it's a lumberjack match, that's what they're supposed to do. Christian says, all of us could get together and give you the biggest lawsuit the WWE has ever seen, or you can give me one more match. Triple H gets pissed at him. You want one more match, I'll give you 3 more matches. You have Sheamus at Hell in the Cell, you have Orton on SmackDown, and you have Cena tonight, and it's non-title. Christian gets all pissed off and leaves. Looks at Ziggler, says, you know what, Ryder might be the new U.S. champion tonight because I'm giving Ryder a rematch so you can get your frustrations out on him and whatever, and hopefully you can defend your U.S. title. Turns to Rhodes and says, you are gonna compete tonight, and he starts protesting and says, oh, you want a triple threat? And protests some more. Oh, you want a fatal 4-way? Protests some more. Okay, I'm going to find 9 guys in the back, and you're going to have an 8 or a 10-man battle royal for the Intercontinental Championship, and it's going to be right now. He pitches a fit. We come back from the break, and there is a battle royal that consists of Cody Rhodes, John Morrison, Alex Riley, Justin Gabriel, Daniel Bryan, Ted DiBiase, Drew McIntyre, Ezekiel Jackson, Sheamus, and Sin Cara. So a bunch of guys that could really, really use the push of having the Intercontinental Championship, and Zeke. They do the Sin Cara switching out bullshit. One of them gets the other one removed from the match. Zeke and Sheamus have a big power man moment in the match. It gets down to Sheamus and Cody being the last ones left. Christian interferes. Cody hits him with the masks and keeps his Intercontinental Championship. Did anybody really think anything was actually going to happen? Did you think that anything was going to change in this match? I didn't. I hope you all didn't either. I know you all are all more intelligent people than that. We go to the back, and we have, of all people, David Otunga and John Laurinaitis talking about Triple H, and John Laurinaitis saying, well, Otunga, you're a smart guy, you've got lots of legal background, I'm sure you can come up with something to do about this. Otunga was in a short sleeve shirt and a bow tie, and it was weird looking. And him talking to Laurinaitis was weird. Made me wonder throughout the entire show, where's McGillicuddy, unless, he's injured, and this is what Otunga's going to do in the meantime. But, that backstage segment with Laurinaitis kind of fell flat, because he should never be on television. Agreed, right? We got A Kelly video package. Oh, yes. If you could make a Barbie doll dance for 2 or 3 minutes, that's what that was. Then we have Eve and Kelly once again, taking on my girls, the Divas of Doom, and oh, yes! Yes, yes, yes. We had a double team press slam from the Divas of Doom. We had a great submission on Eve by Natalya. I don't even know what the hell to call it. Locked her up and turned her over and had her in a bridge, and it was all kinds of different twisty, turny, let's bend the Barbie doll as much as we can type stuff. I've written it down. Kelly's contributions to this match. And Mysterio fan, whatever the hell else, letters and numbers, your name is, whatever, listen to me very carefully. Kelly's contribution to this match was spanking one of the Divas of Doom, which is, you know, a brilliant idea, a really bad airplane spin, and an even worse rip-off of the China handspring elbow. That was about it. A glam slam gets a Divas of Doom victory. Suck on it. Thank you. Great Khali versus Mark Henry is the next announced match, but, you know, being a freak-on-freak sideshow WWE match, Henry hits Khali with the belt, World's Strongest Slam on Khali, everybody goes ooh, everybody goes ah, and that's it. Khali is not credible at all, so basically this was so we could all ooh and ah at Mark Henry. Mark Henry could have had this match with a boulder for the all the effect it had tonight, you know. This is not, you know, top of the mountain stuff for the guy that's supposed to be the world champion. Thankfully, that's the only time we saw Mark Henry tonight. Cena comes out, cuts a promo about Hell in the Cell this Sunday. I will give him credit. John Cena is getting better at the promos. I still don't like him in the ring, but better at his promo stuff, whatever. Keeps wowing up the factor, and I've said this week after week after week, I don't know why they're pushing so hard the fact that this is the first triple threat match ever. We've had tag team matches, we've had, you know, handicap matches, we've had six-pack challenges in the Hell in the Cell atmosphere, so I don't know why a triple threat match is such a big deal. The fact that it's a triple threat match for the title, maybe, but they just keep pushing, it's the first triple threat match ever, it's the first triple threat match ever, and it's really not that big a deal, is it? He came out with the line that Hell in the Cell is the brutal problem solver. Makes reference to all the confusion that has happened over the WWE title in the past few, you know, Punk leaving and them having to make a new one, and Cena winning the new one. Then we had the new one versus the old one, and then we had Alberto Del Rio cashing in the Money in the Bank. So there's been a lot of confusion over who the true champion is, and Hell in the Cell is finally going to solve that. I like that. That was a logical bit of promo work, and it was very well done by Cena. I'm impressed with Cena on that. Now, JR, while Cena was coming down to the ring, had the most perplexing line of the night. I'm not saying that I liked it, I'm not saying that I didn't like it, but I don't know exactly what it was supposed to mean. He said something along the lines of, going to Hell in the Cell is like going to church. Many people attend, but only few understand. That's a complex, perplexing statement that I don't really know what to do with, so I'm going to leave it in your guys' laps. If you have an interpretation of what the hell that's supposed to actually mean, by all means, leave it in my box in the bottom. I know it was supposed to mean something like, you know, Hell in the Cell is very impressive and you can't really imagine what it's like until you're in there, but it was phrased really awkwardly, and he even sounded awkward when he said it, so, you know. We're getting ready for Cena versus Christian, and Alberto Del Rio and Punk both joined the commentary booth. So now at commentary, we have Alberto Del Rio, we have CM Punk, we have Booker T, because, you know, Jerry the King Lawler's injured, Jim Ross, and Michael Cole. So, you know, the commentary is going to go stupendously for this next match, obviously. Don't ding me while I'm doing a video. Christian holds his own with Super Cena in this match, even though, you know, all the Super Cena spots come out, you know. Christian gets some good offense in, and then Cena just squashes him with something, and then Christian gets a lot of more good offense in, and looks good as you can against somebody like a Super Cena, and then gets squashed once again. Cena chucks Christian over the commentator's table at one point. In the scuffle, Alberto Del Rio attacks Punk, Alberto Del Rio attacks Cena, Christian gets disqualified, and Cena gets the win, although not very convincingly. Alberto Del Rio grabs the mic, really out of breath and scattered sounding, and tries to make a really impressive sounding promo, and it's just like, this Sunday I'm going to hell, and I'm dragging you all to hell with me, and I'm the only one that's going to crawl out of hell, and da-da-da-da. And you heard him, and like they were using the cliche of Hell in the Cell, like being dragged to hell, and he overused the cliche so much but I would almost bet money that he got an extra $10 on his paycheck every time he used the word hell, just to make that cliche so unbearable. And the only reason I mention this is because I usually like Alberto Del Rio's promo work. It was just, but this one, it was just, I know it's supposed to be off the cuff, and it was supposed to be all, like, intense and emotional and whatever. It wasn't supposed to be like a planned speech, but it was really, really bad for an Alberto Del Rio promo, which is surprising. So I mentioned it. Deal with it. Next, we have Ryder versus Ziggler for the U.S. title. Ziggler comes down with Vicky and Swagger. So Swagger and Ziggler have, out of nowhere mended their fences, and they're all good again. We have a pissed off, aggressive Dolph Ziggler in the first beginning of this match. Now, going into this match, I like Dolph Ziggler. I like Zack Ryder. So, either one of them comes out on top. Either one of them looks good. I'm still going to be a happy kid. But Dolph Ziggler is usually pretty goofy. Especially in all the shit with Hugh Jackman from last week and all that shit. But he comes out looking all pissed as shit going into this match. Ryder makes a wicked-ass comeback. Swagger jumps the apron, hangs up Ryder on the ropes, and a zigzag gets the win for Ziggler. And then they proceed to beat down Zack Ryder, who are saved by Air Boom out of nowhere, with no context whatsoever. Teddy Long comes out and says Zack Ryder and Air Boom are going to take on Ziggler, Swagger, and whoever Vicky can find in 3 minutes. So we come back, and obviously because they are the heels, they don't have any friends. It's a handicap match. But even still, Ziggler and Swagger double-team Bourne for the majority of the beginning of the match. Kofi Kingston gets the hot tag, comes back after the hot tag, and he does well for a while. Vicky comes out with Mason Ryan, who, nobody's seen in ever unless you watch Superstars. Swagger goes to tag in Ryan. Ryan takes out Swagger and Ziggler and leaves and laughs while doing it. So we get to wonder now what his motives are. But, before he left, he hit a black hole slam type maneuver on Ziggler. Zack Ryder hit the Rough Rider on Ziggler for the win to continue their rivalry, I guess. I'm really, really hoping that this turns into a U.S. title match for Ryder at a pay-per-view, because you know what? All the ones that are all high on Ziggler and Morrison and all the guys that are really, really good, but they're already good. Ryder is the one that really, really needs the push. So even if it's not totally serious, even if it's kind of goofy, I really want Ryder to get a push, because I want to see what Ryder can do with a push. So he got the win. He's, somehow teamed up with Air Boom now, which is kind of awesome. We have a Hell in a Cell video package once again, showing off, all the bad, terrible, horrible things that have happened in Hell in a Cell that are not going to happen in the PG era. So it's double-edged sword on that one. We go to the back, and Otunga is still on this legal kick, and he has a team assembled. All these people that are going to help him take legal action against Triple H. He's got Rhodes, he's got Ziggler and Vicky, he's got Christian. I'm surprised he didn't have Swagger in there too. They all agree that yes, we're going to take legal action on thing. I'm thinking that this is going to be Team Laurinaitis for Survivor Series. Don't know yet, that's just my initial thought. But I don't know how Otunga got into the mix, really. Otunga and McGillicuddy have a rivalry going on with Jerry the King Lawler, of all people, and are trying to get the tag team titles back. I don't know how that connects them to Triple H, and they never really explained it, so that's a fail on their part. Alberto Del Rio versus Punk with Cena on commentary. It was a great, great match. Match starts off with Punk tossing Alberto Del Rio into Cena, which, if anything, you figure Alberto Del Rio would have done, but, all in the spirit of competition and all that. Both guys look really, really great. Cena on commentary talks up Punk and absolutely buries Alberto Del Rio. He doesn't deserve to be champion, he doesn't know what he's getting into, blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, always maintains his respect for Punk. So I'm thinking Alberto Del Rio is going to win on Sunday. But that's another story. The match itself, like I say, was great. You got a lot of great striking and sort of acrobatic work from Punk. Alberto Del Rio was single-minded on CM Punk's arm tonight. It was ridiculous. You had basically a stunner to his arm. You had the Jericho Codebreaker to the arm. You had him whipped around by the arm. You had him eaten post all over the place. And with all the striking and all the acrobatic moves, Punk eventually does get the win with a high kick to Del Rio's face, which was nice and clean, and there was no interference in the match itself. But the cell comes down after the match for no particular reason, in cases Alberto Del Rio, CM Punk, John Cena, and Ricardo Rodriguez. So Cena and Punk team up on Rodriguez, give him the go to sleep and the attitude adjustment, giving Alberto Del Rio time to go under the ring and get a chair and beat the living snot out of both of them, if I'm honest. And that's how we went off the air, with Punk down, with Cena down, and with Alberto Del Rio and his chair reigning high over the entire scene. So I'm really thinking Alberto Del Rio is going to win on Sunday. I'm probably going to do a preview video for this. I don't know, but that's my prediction for that match. Anyway, if I do a predictions video for this Sunday, it's not going to have much on it, because right now the only matches on there are Henry versus Orton, Cena, Del Rio, and Punk. They announced that Beth Phoenix is getting another shot at Kelly, thank God, and Christian's going to fight Sheamus. So everything's from Raw except for the SmackDown World title. That's not very good, is it? Scores, fails, and MVPs. I didn't even do this last week because I was so ticked off, but Triple H versus the world, and that's basically what it is. He's, pissing everybody off, but he's pissing everybody off equally. He's, he's taking on everybody. Everybody's criticizing him. Even his, Laurinaitis, who's his second in command, is going up against him. You got all these guys in the back that are rallying to have him, booted out. You got all these other people that want to be COO. There's the conspiracy that, John Laurinaitis wants to be COO. So you've got all these guys within the company that are conspiring against him. Miz, Truth, and Nash are coming back for him at some point. So I've always been a fan of Triple H, and I've always been a fan of Triple H overcoming the odds. So this feeling that, Triple H is this overwhelmed, vengeful, pissed off, frustrated, almost heel, taking on the whole world, I really like that, because I think he's really going to end up looking strong in the long run. Christian, after he cost Sheamus the Intercontinental title in the Battle Royal, yelling, screaming in his face, how does it feel to not win a title? That is clarity. That is, you cost me a title, now I've cost you a title, now we're even. That is heel face building stuff for their rivalry on Sunday. I like that. It's a little thing, but it's a nice thing. Punk, when he came down to do commentary, and all the commentators talked about it, came down in his commentator jacket, his suit jacket and whatever, because he was being mock professional coming down to do commentary rather than to wrestle, when all he really did was throw a suit jacket over his, CM Punk t-shirt. I liked it. It was a little thing, but it was a little bit cocky. It was very CM Punk, is what I'm going to say about that. Ryder's push and the whole match was brilliant. The whole match built up, his rivalry with with Dolph Ziggler, built up his possibilities of beating him for a title at some point, and opened the door to a tag team rivalry between Air Boom and Team Vicky, and gave us, a little bit of, controversy. Where's Mason Ryan going? Where are his allegiances? Is he a lone wolf? Is he, face? Is he heel? What's he doing? I like that. So that one match opened up a lot of doors, and it gave Ryder some time to shine, which, he's just starting to get now. Christian's pile of opponents from Triple H. Basically Triple H gave him all these opponents to say, yeah, you can't handle any of these guys because you're weak and you're a coward and you're a heel and whatever. But ultimately, goes up against Cena tonight, goes up against Orton on Friday, goes up against Sheamus on Sunday. These are the main event guys in the WWE. Sheamus is going to have another world title eventually, and Orton and Cena are the two, big poster guys of the company. So if you've got one guy taking on all three of them in the span of less than a week, that's a big push for Christian, whether he wins or loses. And me, Toronto, hometown boy, I like my hometown boy getting a push. Deal with it. Fails. Me having to sit through a Kelly promo video. Especially when it was setting her up to lose to the Divas of Doom, like she should have, months ago. Disposed of, like she's going to be this Sunday. Let's, put over the girl that's about to lose her title on Sunday. I like it. Boring freak show matches. I don't care if Mark Henry has momentarily stolen the strap from actual real wrestlers that deserve it. You got the strong man versus the big man. This is not a circus. This is the World Wrestling Entertainment Federation, whatever you want to say. But it's a wrestling company, even though they don't know that. It's not a sideshow freak show. So, Khali was useless years ago. And like I said before, Mark Henry might as well have come into the ring, lifted up a boulder, watched everybody ooh and ah, and leave. The Cena-Christian match didn't do any good for anybody. A lot of people might say, Cena had to win this match to look strong going into Hell in the Cell, but he won it by disqualification. And like I say, for all the good that Christian did in this match, he was constantly squashed by Super Cena. So, yeah. Ziggler. I'm a big fan of Ziggler, but as a fan, I need to know where they're going with him. They had the beginnings of a rivalry between him and Swagger where you knew if you had to pick a face out of those two, it would be Dolph Ziggler, and it gave us all a lot of hope that this was going to pull him away from Vicky and da-da-da-da-da. But now he's being all heel, getting in Triple H's face, putting a beat down on Ryder, and, solidifying that team with Swagger and Vicky. So, WWE always looks like they're on the fence with Ziggler, always looks like they're just getting over the hump of making him a face, and then they pull back because they don't know how or something, but they need to make up their mind. Push him face, push Swagger super heel and to go against him if you want to, because I think that would be great, because everybody hates Swagger anyway. You might as well make him a heel or keep him a heel or whatever. The last thing I'm going to say, yes, it is a super show. You're going to have stars from Raw and SmackDown, but unless somebody left something out, unless I missed something, the World Heavyweight and Intercontinental titles are still SmackDown titles. Now, you had a battle royal for that SmackDown title with both Raw and SmackDown superstars. And we all knew that Cody was going to come out of it with the belt anyway, so it didn't really matter. But it didn't make much sense to open up the fictional possibility of bringing the Intercontinental Championship over to Raw unless they were going to have Dolph Ziggler feud with somebody from SmackDown, which, like I say, once again makes the whole brand extension completely useless. And for their destruction of the Barbie dolls, oh yes, it was a long time coming. MVPs for this week are indeed Natalya and Beth Phoenix, the Divas of Doom. And once again, for all the bitch-ass Kelly Barbie doll marks out there, I say, suck it! And I say, I've been Spaz. Subscribe down there, talk down there, leave your questions for Q&A in the mod, and I will talk to all of you guys later. Stay excellent. Bye.